Okay, so the section what we're going to discuss today is child abduction. So if I give you a scenario whereby Dan and Lucy, both expats, are here in Dubai and they have a child of 5 years old called Sam. Now, what happens if, for instance, Dan works, say, 6 months a year abroad in different areas of the world, and Dan and Lucy have an argument, and in a certain case, he actually takes Sam, the child, with him to his next location, which could, say, be France, without the consent of Lucy. What is the law regarding child abduction in the UAE?
You mean husband-child abduction?
Yes. And then we can do wife-child abduction, yes.
Lucy has a right to apply for a travel ban, which she could get it from the court within same day or by next day maximum, that prevent her husband from leaving the airport without getting her written approval.
Okay.
If it's the other case, her husband has the same rights. However, if her husband, normally according to the UAE laws, her husband has a right to keep the passport in case of any potential dispute.
Okay, and does it make a difference if either the wife or the husband are of different nationalities and living in the UAE?
The same applies on all nationalities.
Okay, and how can a parent in any case prevent child abduction?
First, reduce the argument level. If you couldn't or if you're still concerned, you have the right to apply. Both couples has a right to apply for a travel ban to prevent the kids from leaving the country without their written consent till any dispute is settled.
Okay, and how and what period of time do they have to do that to create a travel ban?
It's valid till the matter is settled.
Okay, fantastic. And in case of child abduction, what are the first legal steps that a husband or wife can do as soon as the child has been abducted? What can they do to seek legal help?
Consult lawyer. Applying for a travel ban will be the best course of action. If the parents, if the client doesn't have the child passport, he should at least make sure that he has the marriage certificate and copy of the passport, or at least passport number. So getting the travel ban through using that passport number and the marriage certificate would be much faster and easier.
And you mentioned the best thing to do would be to seek a lawyer straight away. Why would you advise this in terms of cases between family and children straight away? Why would you advise that?
The requirement to make sure that the marriage certificate can be used in the court. If it's in English, it has to be translated through legal translation office. Then it has, if it's from abroad, it has to be fully attested. Moreover, the travel ban would require special application, which has to be done through the family courts. All of this, if it's done through a lawyer, it would be much faster.
Okay, and what if, say, the wife remarries? Could she still take custody of her children?
In general, the husband will have the right to apply for custody. However, the mother has the right to apply for keeping the custody on base of best interest of the child. That will be up to the judge discretionary power and the full evidence of each parties. Pleading has to be submitted by both parties. It's very common. The judge might request for witnesses to see and seek where the child's best interest will be. The mother still has some chance to keep the child if she could have good case.
Okay, so what happens if either the husband or the wife actually relocates out of the UAE specifically for work and the child is abducted? Would it be seen as child abduction, or would it just, it's a similar case to, say, Dan and Lucy here, would it be automatically seen as child abduction?
In case of work?
Yes.
Okay, permanent or temporary work?
Permanent work, so say for at least 2 to 5 years.
Relocation of the child in general shall be subject to the custodian approval. Custody has to be given to the mother till a certain age in general. So relocation of the child without getting the mother approval might not be accepted. However, the father has a right to apply for special application to the court for relocation, or he has a right to request from the mother to follow him to the other country. If she refused, the mother could be raised to the Dubai judge, who would decide on best decision, taking into consideration the child's best interest.
And you actually mentioned it depends on age as well. What is the age that the mother or the father still has the rights towards his or her own child?
In general, for boys, it's still 11 years old. For girls, till 13 years old.
Okay.
However, we don't consider this as a silent and sharp rule. Still, in some cases, the judge might maintain and keep the custody with the mother after this age if he believes that giving the child to the father would affect on his best interest. Or the judge might take the custody from the mother before this age if the best interest of the child has been seriously affected or subject to any future effect.
Okay, so say if there was a situation and the parents couldn't actually come to an agreement, would the child's point of view be taken into account at any point?
If he is beyond 7 years old, yes, there is potential chance to consider the child point of view through specialist. So the client who believes that he needs his child to be heard has the right to apply for a Dubai judge, requesting his child to be listened by specialist who would provide report back to the judge later, indicating the child point of view and why the child reached the conclusion that he wants to stay with one of the parents. The child has, and what's the recommendation of the specialist. All of this could be made through the official process in the court, and the judge most likely would consider such report.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting.